So when you are allowed notes in your exam, there are a few different rules which are there, okay? You'll notice it says 2 A4 pages. Okay, you are allowed to bring in 2 A4 pages. You can have anything written on them, back and front. So in essence, you've got like 4 pages, but it's 2, but what they're asking for are 2 A4 pages. If you bring in 4 pages with only one side written on them, what's going to happen? You're only allowed to have 2 of them, and we're going to take 2 away. Okay, because it clearly states you're allowed 2 A4 pages. That's it. But you may write all over them. The other part it says is unfolded. Okay, so if you brought in your notes and you had your beautiful notes, but they have a fold down the middle, we're taking them away from you. Okay, well, that's why you need to put it in your pencil case. If you think about it, the reason why, because your pencil case should be like a clear plastic thing. Pardon? Yeah, most people bring a plastic sleeve as a pencil case because you're not allowed to bring a pencil case into your exams anyway. Okay, so you bring a plastic sleeve with your stuff in it. All right, the reason why you're not allowed folds is that you've got your notes here and you're using them, and then middle of the exam, put that away. Oh, I've got an extra page of notes. Okay, people have done the wrong thing. So if there's no folds, they haven't been hidden away anywhere. We also check your notes. Does that make sense? Okay, we're trying to combat cheating. That's pretty much it. So you may not have any folds on your page. So I'm telling you now, before you start your notes, to make sure that you do that. You can't laminate them. Okay, so don't try. And the thing is, laminating wouldn't be so bad, but often people like get 2 pages, put them together and then laminate them. But then when you put it up, you can actually see the back of the pages. So it's actually 4 pages, not 2 pages back and front and stuff. So don't laminate them. Okay, unfolded, it needs to be unfolded. I'm making that very clear to you now. Okay, now the other thing is nothing should be stuck on them. So some people like to cut up all their notes and then put them together and stick them all together. That's fine, you can do that. What do you think you should do to make sure that you get your notes through? If that's the case, if you stuck everything down together and you've put them all together, photocopy it. Just go to a photocopier, photocopy it and bring in the photocopier because there's nothing stuck on, but you've got it all in the order you want it to be. Okay? So why do you think nothing can be stuck on? Because then you could put extra paper underneath it, extra bits underneath it, and it's not fair to other people. Okay, so nothing stuck on, and preferably no whiteout. If you used a heap of whiteout, then can you make sure that you just go and photocopy it again as well? Okay, so we're not going to be really crazy about a tiny bit of whiteout, but if you've got whiteout all over your page, then we will be taking it off because you could scratch it all off as well. Okay, so use a photocopier. Yes. You can write your notes however you like to. So you can use pencil, you can use pen, you can photocopy pages from the books. I've had people who have taken in a set of solutions from last year's exam, like photocopied down into tiny little pages, like with the work solutions. It depends. It's however you wish to do it. Yeah, I did that for one of my uni maths exams when we were allowed notes because I knew the exam was every year they'd done pretty much the same exam with different numbers. And I did like 4 practice exams. And I was like, well, I'll just photocopy this and took that in. And it was exactly the same. So you just put like whatever you want. You can put whatever you want, but I'm going to talk to you about the best way to use your notes in a second. Yes. Pardon? No, you are given your formula sheet for both sections. So this is why I want to talk to you about wasting your time versus not for notes, okay? So let's have firstly, before I'm going to take up quite a bit of your time today, but I think this is important. Is that okay with you? Yeah? You're not getting your test back today. Oh, hang on, sorry, you haven't got your mark. Did you I will give you back your test to have a quick look at today, but I'll need to collect them back in. Remind me at the end. Sorry, I gave the other class back there, so I haven't given you guys back yours. All right, that means we need to do this quickly. So I need you guys to be on the ball as we go through things. So you are only allowed your calculator in the calculator. Sorry, you're only allowed your notes in the calculator section. Okay, so we've got non-calc, you've got either, so it could be in both, or you've got calc. Anything which we're going to put in these two lists should be in your notes, because if it's going to be in a non-calculator section, then you're not going to have your notes there anyway. You're just going to need to know it. So we need to really, really quickly go through what topics we have learnt so far this year. So let me just open up our program. If you are looking for the program, go to the welcome page. It's right here. Okay, and that way you can look at it. We can't put anything in your exam which isn't in the syllabus dot points. So if you can tick off every syllabus dot point, and I've actually cut and pasted them into every topic in the OneNote, as long as you can tick off every single dot point, you should be fine for your exam. All right, so if we have a look at this, we start, what topic did we start with? Algebra. Okay, so if we look at this, we did use of formula solving equations. So substitution, solving. Really quickly, which section would they be in? So substitution. Substitution could be either, and lots of it will be in either. Substitution, either. Solving algebra, either. But you do need to know it. All right. Next topic. So I can't tell you which section it's going to be, and you have to tell me. So that's why I need you guys to actually answer me, because I'm not allowed to actually tell you what's going to be in what section, because I might be wrong. And then you're going to be like, but you told us this. So you have to tell me what to write. Okay. Solving equations. Okay, matrices. Non-calc and calc. So we're going to go, definitely, just to remind ourselves, let's put matrices in non-calc, and let's also put the algebra in there as well, just so that you make sure you practice. But which bit could be in the calc section of matrices? We don't have indices in matrices. That worded ones, yeah, the applications. That's going to be our answer for quite a few things. All right, so we've got matrices. You need to go through each of those topics. I'm not going to go through every single bit because we're going to just waste our time otherwise. You need to go through those dot points. I go through these dot points to make sure I've taught you what we need to be taught. You guys need to go through it and make sure you've learned what needs to be learned, okay? All right, Pythagoras. Pythagoras. Pythagoras? Either. Which bit was in the non-calc, just so we remember? What numbers? 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, and 5, 12, and 13. Okay, so they just remember them. That's what I'm putting in there. Pythagoras, it could be either. Then we did perimeter and area. Look, as I said, if it's in either, we write it, perimeter and area. If it's in either, we write it in our notes, so it's fine, but just good to know. Volume and surface area. Could be, it's probably more likely to be in your calculator, but it could be either. Volume and surface area. Pretty much any worded application question is definitely going to be in your calculator section as well, so having those things. All right, similarity. Could be both. All right, so what's the next topic? It says, so similarity. Trig for right angled triangles. Either. So trig, right angle triangles. Now, we haven't completely, I'm going to have to talk to Mr. McManus. I'm going to still assume that area of non-right angle triangles will be in your exam because I have taught it to you, but I'll just have to double check the other class gets taught it. Okay, so for now, can we assume, I'll let you know closer to the date, but for now, can we assume the area of non-right angle triangles, that's where we'll get up to. So I'm not going to be teaching you anything else before your exam, but it will include area of non-right angle triangles, which is the area formula and Heron's rule. Okay, so area of non-right angle triangles. So that's area formula and Heron's. Now that may come out depending on where the other class is at, but you guys, my two classes have both been taught it. So if they have, then it will be in it. And that means that pretty much last year's exam covers everything as well, because that was where their exam was up to last year. Okay. So once you have this, we need to go, okay, we need to include all of these topics in our notes. Yeah? And so the way I would think about it is we've got a few different topics here. What's our main topic? We've got algebra. We've got matrices. We've got measurement. And we've got triangles, really, which includes trig and similarity. Anything else? Anything we miss? And Pythagoras. Pythagoras kind of comes into both. So 4 topics actually works really well. Why do you reckon 4 topics works really well? Pardon? If you've got 2 A4 pages, back and front, how many pages in total is that? Like, how many pages of working have we got there, really? 4, okay? So the way I would do this is I would look at, but we do want to have one extra part in here. So we've got 4 pages. So I'd be going, okay, algebra is going to be in green. Matrices, remember how I like colours again, okay? Matrices is going to be in blue. Measurements is going to be in yellow. And triangles are going to be in pink. The reason why I want the colours there is that I want you in your exam to be able to go, this question's about matrices. I am looking for the blue page. Because otherwise, if you have no order to your notes and you've just put random stuff everywhere, you are going to spend half an hour of your time doing this. Where is it? Yeah, okay? I don't want you doing that. I want you to be able to go, this question is on matrices, I am looking for the blue page. And then each title you've highlighted in blue and you're going, okay, I'm looking for that. And so you've just got certain like bits to actually pull your mind to. Does that make sense? Now, there is one other section which I'd like you to make sure you put into your exam as well. What piece of equipment are you allowed in this part of the test, which is really important to know how to use? Calculator. So in this ugly orange colour, I would like you to make sure you also have calculator skills. How to use your calculator. I have put, every time we've used your calculator, I have made sure that it's recorded and notes are done and everything's there. So make sure you have step by step how to use your calculator. Someone this week said to me, how do I use that solve button? What is solve? You keep talking about solve. Okay? It's important that you know that is like the most important button on your calculator for this topic. So I need you to know how to use it. Write down steps, how to solve in your calculator. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Because in your test, suddenly everything which you think you know disappears out of your mind because you've got all this adrenaline and all this stuff going through you. If you've got the notes there to remind you, just to keep you on track, it's a lot easier for you to go, I have this in my notes. Let's just follow the steps and make sure I do it right. Rather than, I can't remember how to do this. I'm just going to leave it. Okay? I want you to go, use your notes to help you, to calm you down, to give you those steps. All right. So what I would be saying is, which topic do you reckon is the smallest in terms of notes? Calcs, well, I would say I would want about half a page for calculator skills. Which one? Because we've got 4 topics, 4 pages, I would say you'd probably put the calculator skills in with the algebra, because the algebra is not going to take as much because a lot of it's going to be non-calc. So I would be looking at, now, note, I'm drawing 4 pages here. How many pages are you actually allowed in your paper? In your 2. So what I would be doing is do 4 pages, Do 8 pages if you need to. Photocopy them down, but make sure that you're only bringing in 2 pages back and front. If you want to do 16 pages of notes and then photocopy it down so it's got 4 per side, 4 per page, that's fine. So if you do your notes on different pages, the photocopiers down here do it. Just like this was actually single page, single page. I photocopied it down to be 2 to 1. So if you write 2 pages of matrices notes, that's fine. Just photocopy it down so it only fits on 1 page. You can also do it with 4 pages. These solutions were on 1 page. They are now on 4 pages. So, sorry, these were each on 1 page. The 4 pages are now on 1. Just be aware of how small you write. If you write your notes, so some people like to write their notes and they write this small anyway. If you write this small and then you cut it down to 4, it's not going to work for you, okay? But if you write normally, so you write quite big, you do 4 pages, you break it down onto here, you can still usually read it. So try out some different ways, okay? You can go to, I think, 16 pages. However, I wouldn't recommend that because it's really, really small. I would say 4 would be max. But if you do 4, it means that when you're writing your notes, you can write it a decent size, and you can just write, you can write it the way you want to as you go. If I can find them, I'll bring in I've got my maths notes from when I was in year 11. I'll show you what I did, which was a bit different as well. All right, so up to you. But in the end, you want to have 4 pages, and you might have a topic. You might have a topic. So, for example, we said algebra, and I would be writing algebra quite big at the top, and I would be highlighting it in the colour which we said. Okay, so that you can find it really quickly. Then you want to have, so you might have your topic of substitution, and you might have some steps or something like that here. What I don't want you to do, don't highlight every single word you're doing. You want to highlight the main things so that you can go, okay, it's a substitution question, I want to look there. A lot of people end up getting really into the highlighting and just highlight example, 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 and that doesn't matter, okay? But so you'd highlight the word substitution, you've got your steps, but the main part of your notes should be worked examples. So you know how every single set of notes I give you an example of how to answer it with all the working? That's what should be in your exam in here. You want to accidentally get the exact question, because often we can only ask you a certain number of questions. If you've got 1 million worked examples, you are more likely to actually get an exact question. You're also more likely to have the working out to be able to answer whatever question it is. So the majority of your notes should be worked examples, how to do things with full working. You need to make sure it's correct. Okay, so don't just put in a question from the book and how you worked it out if you don't know that your answer was right, because otherwise that's not going to help you. So we're going to do substitution, and then I'm going to go, okay, well, I also need to do formula. And you're like, okay, I know how to do that, so I'm just going to go e.g. So worked examples. All right, that is all the algebra stuff. I'm going to put a green line around that so I know that that's all algebra. I'm then going to put in, okay, this is where I said I was going to put in calc skills. So I'm going to go calc skills, and I'm going to change the colour so that that's what I'm looking for as we go. And then in here, I'd be going solving. Doesn't just have to be for algebra. So solve, matrices. What else have we used your calculator for? Trig, anything, okay? And you can highlight them as you go for the different topics. And write down the steps on how to use your calculator. That makes sense? Yeah? So then for the next one, you might go matrices. Pick a different colour. Now, if you want to just have the calculator skills for each topic, then you can do that at the bottom of each page if that's going to help you better, but just make sure you put it in a different colour so that you can see that calculator skills are all orange down the bottom of each one. However you want to work is fine, but make sure you include calculator skills. And this is going to be a work in progress as you go, but if you make really good notes this semester, you can use these notes next semester, just cut them, like photocopy them down, and you can use them in next semester exam and just add some more. So this is actually something which you can use in the future as well. Don't chuck out your notes. Don't allow us to collect your notes at the end of your exam. You get to keep them, okay? And make sure that, and don't keep, if you're photocopying down your notes, keep the single pages as well, because you might use them with your semester 2 exam in a different format. Okay, so keep like a little folder of note preparation. So matrices is in blue. So I'm going to highlight that in blue. I'm then going to go like adding and examples. Make sure you put in lots of examples, okay? Then I'm going to go multiplying and put in lots of examples. But the majority of my page for matrices is going to be worded examples, okay? Because they're the main things for matrices which are going to be in your, not in your exam, in your calculator section. All lots and lots and lots. You want to have like 10 or more examples with the full questions, with like 5 parts in each one. How do you do them? Try and pick as many as possible. Put in lots and lots and lots of examples. As I said, you never know what you might actually get the exact question. In my year 12 chemistry exam, we used to have a calculator which you could write essays in, like so you could write all these essays in it. And my friend had the one, I think you guys can do it as well, we connect it to your computer and we just had a million different little essay topics in our calculators. And it just happened that she picked the exact essay we got given in chemistry. We pretty much all wrote word for word the same essay because we all had it in our calculators, because it was exactly the same question, because there was only a certain number of chemistry questions which they could ask, okay? Can't do that anymore. But, and I'm not sure, I still don't know if it's cheating because, you know, but anyway, but they're allowed, you were allowed the calculators with the notes in that back then, okay? So it's just about trying to set yourself up to have lots of different structures to how to answer different questions. All right, can everyone see how that would continue on with the other topics and how the colour is really important? Don't do a million different topics on all the different pages. Write drafts and then photocopy them. Don't try and do your perfect notes to start with, because if you do that, especially back and front, you do like these beautiful notes for a page and a half, and then you make a big mistake, and then you're stuffed, like, and you get disappointed, even though you've done this amazing work. The other thing is, don't bring someone else's notes in. Why do you think that is? Pardon? You won't understand them. So you are more than welcome to bring in someone else's work for your notes if you want to. However, you're going to spend more time looking through your notes trying to find stuff because you didn't write them than and most people just don't end up using their notes, at those other people's notes at all. Okay, so part of the process of writing your notes is part of your revision for maths. It's actually about you revising those topics and writing them out. I highly recommend you do actually handwrite them and you don't just copy and paste my notes. If you do, that's fine, that's your choice, but it's better. Part of that revision is writing your notes. And a lot of the time, the people who write the best notes don't look at them in their exam, because that process of writing them, of actually getting down the information you need, when you're doing that, helps you with your process of actually answering your exams. And they're confident already because they've done all the prep, that they're like, well, I already know that. But they can also use it quicker. They'll only use their notes for like 10 minutes out of the exam rather than a lot longer, because they know where to look, they know what's there, and they know what's going to help them. So what's in their notes to help them. They're not looking at their notes to go, notes help me. They're going, I have an example which is in my notes which will help me, which is a very different mindset to have in your exam. Everyone okay with notes? Okay, no folding, no sticking. Make sure that it is A4. Someone's come in before with like a full skate paper, which is about this much bigger on the top of an A4 page. Can't have that. Okay, so it has to be an A4 page. So just grab a piece of paper out of the photocopier and make sure it's that size. Okay, must be A4, must be both sides. You can't stick 2 pages together. Photocopy them. Okay, if you've stuck 2 pages together, that counts as 2 pages back and front. We will take the other set off you. at least 4 year 11s in semester 1 last year brought in the wrong notes. Okay, so I don't want it to be you. All right, any questions? Ask me anything you need about in terms of what to bring into exams, what to do, etc. All right, the other thing to know is similar to the way I do tests. Actually, no, it's a little bit different. You guys will be given both your section 1 part to your exam and your section 2 and your formula sheet at the start of the test of the exam. You'll have to write your name and your student number. You need to know your student number. So not your name, just your student number on the front of them. And then what's going to happen is, I'll find you your student number if you don't have it, it's okay, is that you'll get your second section. You will put your notes inside your second section so you can't see them when they're on the floor. Listen up. I don't want you to be accused of cheating. Okay? Second section, you'll put your notes in that second section, and you'll put that second section with your notes in it on the floor with your calculator on top. Don't bring calculator cases in because you're not allowed them. Okay, so just your calculator. So under your chair will be second section with your number already on it, your notes and your calculator under your chair, and then you're allowed your other equipment and first section and formula sheet. Now, every single exam I've ever been in, there's been at least one person who hasn't read the front cover and has put their non-calculator section on the floor, and they've started their calculator section in the wrong time with no calculator, and then it's caused a massive uproar when there's been issues. So just be really, really aware. You need to look at it. You know how on that thing it said section 1, section 2? Make sure section 2 goes on the floor with your notes. Just check the front covers. Okay, because you really don't want to be doing a calculator section with no calculator. All right? Any questions? What will then happen at the changeover is that you'll put the first section on the floor, you'll pick everything else up, and we'll pick up the papers from the floor as we go. All right? Okay, let me just end this.